All right, my beautiful people, thanks so much for tuning in to the Wealthy, Healthy, Happy Show. I'm your host, ERGJ, your certified financial educator. We got Mr. Beautis coming in just a second. He'll be joining us in just a second. So thank you so much for tuning in, man. We had a fabulous, wonderful time yesterday on Monday. And again, we're here Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. 30 minutes to start your day or continue your day or end your day, depending on where you are in the world. No matter what, though, you got 30 minutes to be with like-minded people that are serious about success and who are going to dare you to grow. That's right. We're daring you to grow. We're daring you to show up, and we're daring you to be better than you was yesterday. Absolutely. We're daring you to grow. And so we are actually going through the 15 laws of invaluable growth by John C. Maxwell. 15 laws. We're on law number 4, the law of reflection. Now, we started with law number 1, which is the law of intentionality. You need to know where you want to go. And we went over to the law of awareness, being aware of your surroundings, being aware of the people that can actually help you, and also aware of the people that can hurt you in your life. That's right, the law of awareness. Then last week, we talked about the law of reflection. Who do you see when you look in the mirror? Who do you see when you look in the mirror? Not law of reflection, law of the mirror. I'm sorry, law of the mirror. Who do you see when you look in the mirror? Hopefully, you see awesome. Hopefully, you see phenomenal. Hopefully, you see your very own greatness that's inside of you. And so this week, we're actually going through the law of reflection. And so we're on to this piece called The Power of the Pause. The Power of the Pause. And so I was thinking about this yesterday because we'll get into the book. But I was thinking about this and I was like, man, the power of the pause. And I think everybody can relate to this story here. You ever had a situation where maybe it was a loved one, someone you cared about, someone in your family, maybe a child, a friend, a spouse, whatever, and y'all were having a conversation and they said something to you that struck a nerve. I mean, it like struck a nerve. And you literally had to sit there and pause before you responded. Like if you would have just responded right then and there, it would have been a bad situation. But you paused and you were like, did they just say that? Did I just hear what I thought I heard? And you had to just pause and reflect on what you thought you just heard that could have just really just ruined your day, your moment, turned the whole conversation around. The power of the pause. You took a moment to pause, and hopefully you came out with a better response than what you were initially thinking about, how you were thinking about responding. Because you were like, I can't believe that they just said that. They just totally that was a slight on my character. That like they ain't known me this long. The power of the pause. So sometimes we have to pause. And that's the best the best analogy I can come up with, because I think everybody's been in that situation where they're about to go off on somebody, and it's probably somebody that's close to you. You just said, you know what? They probably didn't even realize that they said what they said and how they said it. The power of the pause, giving people the benefit of the doubt. But nevertheless, we're talking about the power of the pause, and so it's actually a moment where you actually reflect and you think about your experiences. And also you think about your future. And so yesterday we talked about reflection, turning the experience into insight. And then the number 2 that's in the book is that everyone needs a time and a place to pause. Everyone needs a time and a place to pause. And basically what we're saying here in the book is saying that many of us, we get so busy that we don't take time to reflect on the good, the bad, the lessons, a life, because for some of us who are high achievers, for some of us who are running our own businesses, for some of us who are single moms or single parents, it's like it's moment after moment after moment of doing something, of completing something, of getting to the next spot, getting to the next destination, whatever that is, that we don't take a moment to pause. And sometimes pausing can be uncomfortable, right? Because we're used to noise. We're used to something always going on in the background. But but everyone needs a time and a place to pause. And so it says like this. It says it can be the pausing, taking the time to stop and reflect is one of the most valuable activities that people can do to grow. It has much greater value to them than even motivation or encouragement. He says why? He says because pausing allows them to make sure that they are on the right track. Pausing allows you to make sure that you're on the right track. After all, if someone is going down the wrong road, he doesn't need motivation to speed up. He needs to stop, reflect, and change course. Stop, reflect, and change course. I think I want you to write that in the comments below. Stop, reflect, and change course. Because here's the deal, guys. We don't want to motivate people to keep going in the wrong direction. I mean, we want to hopefully inspire them to change, to turn their ways so they can get on a right track for their life. Stop, reflect, and change course. And so there are times that we are, even individually, we can start to move in an opposite direction. We might get caught up in some moment, caught up in some conversation, caught up in something that's going on in life that causes us to move in a different direction than what we would normally go. And when we get caught up in that moment or those moments, because it could last a day, it could last a week, who knows how long this moment of wrong thinking can last for you. So you want to stop, you want to reflect, and you want to change course. Yes. So that's kind of the number two. Everyone needs a time to play. Do you have a specific time that you use every day? I know when I was working at my job, it was my lunchtime. While everyone else was eating, I would leave, go outside and take a little 10-minute walk and just get away from everything, enjoy the air. And I got so fascinated with looking at the sky. Every day I look at the sky and see a different pattern and just think about a bright future that I had. But that was my time and my place to get away from all of the noise that was happening at work, to recollect and rethink about my thoughts, my plans, where I'm headed individually, so that I can come back and finish my day. I think everybody, whether it's, you're at your job, whether it's at the end of the day of your night, when do you set a time? And where is the place for you that you take a moment to pause? You take a moment to not just pray, because the praying could be you speaking out to something, but taking the time to just listen and reflect on your day, on your experiences. Do you capture those moments? Everyone needs a time and a place to pause. So that's number two. Number three is pausing with intention expands and enriches the thinking. Pausing with intention and expands and enriches the thinking. So in this part of the book, he's saying that again that if you're a leader, you can probably take the normal business of life and multiply it by 10. And we talked about yesterday. Sometime I met Grant Cardone. He talks about 10x in your life. It says leaders are so action oriented and have so many responsibilities that they're often guilty of moving all the time and neglecting to stop and take the time to think. Let me ask you this, guys. For some of you guys that are entrepreneurs, some of you guys that are leaders, some of you guys that are moving at the speed of light, when's the last time you took a moment for yourself? When the last time you took a vacation? When the last time you just said, you know what? The day is the day I do nothing. Do you do that every week? For me, I'm still having I'm telling you the truth. I still have a hard time just taking Sunday off. Like, I'm like, you know what? Sunday, I'm not going to do no work, but I still end up doing some work. So, I'm still trying to make, Sunday needs to be the day where you call me, I'm not going to answer the phone. This is the day I'm not doing nothing as it relates to work. But my mind is like, man, I got so much left to do. And why put it off till tomorrow? Why do it tomorrow? Why not do it today? So what is it for you guys? When the last time you took a vacation? When the last time you got away from all of the action, all of the progress that you've been making? When's the last? Because here's the deal. You need to do it. Why? Because there needs to be balance as well in your life. There needs to be moments that you can just bask in the sun. You can relax. You can turn off the cell phone. You can turn off the TV. You can get away from social media. You can just enjoy who you have become. You can just enjoy who you have become. When the last time you wasn't thinking about the future and you were just caught up in the moment of enjoying who you have become? Taking that moment to reflect and appreciate all that you've been given. Taking that moment to have that gratitude moment each and every day. Taking that moment to say, you know what? I just learned from this experience. Here's what I learned. And you capture it. Why? So that you don't have to repeat it again. Pausing with intention expands and enriches your thinking. It says a minute of thought is worth more than an hour of talk. A minute of thought is worth more than an hour of talk. And we found in The Strangest Secret, he said that, the problem with most people today is they simply just won't think. And I found that to be true. People simply just won't think. They want to be busy. They want to get things done. They want to be moving, no matter if they're moving in circles or not. They want to be moving. But sometimes you got to be intentional and say, you know what? This is the 30 minutes that I'm taking for myself to pause and to reflect. Again, we're on the law of reflection, 15 Laws of Invaluable Growth by John C. Maxwell. Hopefully you're getting something out of this, because I know some of you guys are just, you're just action oriented. You are high achievers. I know who I attract into my life, but you got to take some time to just pause. And matter of fact, Mr. Beatles said this weekend he only got 5 hours of sleep because he was so on 10X. So I'm wondering, Mr. Beatles, did you take some time to pause and reflect?
Did I take wealthy, healthy, happy people? Did I take time to pause and reflect? No, I did not. Not at all this weekend. What I did do was, I was just so inspired this weekend. I had an idea that I was working on, and I think that the idea has some huge possibilities, and so that's what I was doing this weekend. However, reading through the laws last night, reading through the law of reflection, and the power of the pause, it caused me to stop right then and there and really think about the activity, think about the actions. Because like you were saying earlier, we get so caught up, we get so busy with just doing and going that we fail to reflect on what it is that we're doing, and is what we're doing actually working? Like, a lot of times, we'll go a few years of our life and never really take the time to, just step back and say, look at all that I have done. And am I okay with where I am right now? That was my pause right there.
Oh. Hey, so that's the deal, man. So it's funny, right? It's really this is the interesting thing about life, man, is that right now we are where we're supposed to be. So even as been traveling along these laws and whatever pace we've been making it through, you started with the law of intentionality, went to the law of awareness, went to the law of the mirror, and now we're in the law of reflection, and it's causing us to reflect. So even in the business of everything that you were doing, you got complete or whatever, as soon as you read this little bit of this chapter, you was like, you know what? I need to take a moment to pause. So it's like it's aligning us and putting us right where we need to be, right when we need to be there. And this is what's so fantastic about everything that's going on with this network. Because I believe there's other people that are here today that are saying, you know what? I don't remember the last time I just paused. I don't remember the last time I just reflected on my day, my life, my experiences. I don't remember the last time. When's the last time you reminisced?
Hey, that's called appreciation.
Yeah.
When you really think about it, it's called appreciating what you have and taking the opportunity to do that. A lot of people, they do it on their religious holiday or religious day of the week is, but that becomes the time to do that. But it really is about just creating that space, like you were saying earlier as well, and like it says in the book, is creating a space, finding some time in your day where you have a moment to just, decompress. There's so much that we get done. There's so much energy that we're absorbing. There's so much action that we are, we may be committing ourselves to in a day that, again, we forget to think about self. There's a quote in the book on page 71 that says, if someone is going down the wrong road, he doesn't need the motivation to speed up. He needs to stop. Again, we go, a million miles a minute, and sometimes you're going in the wrong direction. And if you have no idea, well, if you never think about stopping, if you never think about slowing down, you never think about your actions, you could hit that wall.
Yeah,
so slowing down each day, yielding each day gives you an opportunity to determine your current activities.
So I want you guys to think about this, man. I know that there may probably some. I know there's people still have jobs, or some people moving into entrepreneurship. When you're working a job, you typically have set hours that you work, right? Now, here's the interesting thing about having a job. You know, you got set hours that you work. No matter how hard or how much work you do or how little work you do, you're still gonna get paid the same. So I don't know whether you're a person that gives it 10x on your job. Now, when you move to entrepreneurship, many of us don't set hours. We just work until we get sleepy.
You fall out.
Right?
Work until you fall out.
Work until you fall out. But because you know that there's a lot more that's riding on you getting paid, you give a little bit more effort throughout the day to get things done. But I'm wondering, even throughout our time as entrepreneurs, I think it's important that we begin to set hours, right? When you're going to go to lunch, when you're going to actually reflect maybe on half of your day or the end of your day, so you can actually appreciate and recharge even in those moments. Because I know that we can get going from the time we wake up at 5 in the morning to the time we go to sleep at 1 in the morning. but throughout that day, man, it's I think it's incumbent upon us to take those moments to reflect.
Yeah, that's good. Raz Rising, he says, man, we work because we love what we're doing, and that is that beautiful thing when you are inspired to do what you love to do. Then work is not work. It just is. It's a part of who you are. And it's like breathing. It's like air. And so, you don't think about taking the breaks. You may miss a few meals. I heard that Beyonce went a few days without eating while she was on tour one time, just because she was so caught up in the moment. And that's where I want to be. I want to be in the moment. I want to be able to go a few days without eating because I'm just so wrapped up in what I love to do and enjoy to do.
So, but let me ask you this, though, Mr. Beers, as we talk about being wealthy, being healthy, is that healthy?
I don't know. I don't know yet.
Because I don't know. Deal. Like, I get it, right? I get it. I think we all get it. To be in the zone. We all get. Hopefully, everyone has experienced being in the zone before. Hopefully, you have in your life. I've experienced it plenty of times. Hopefully, you have too. And I think that we can all get being in the zone. Tracy McGrady said the other day. He said he was talking about what's his name? The guy that scored 59 points. Anyway, some basketball player.
Stephen.
Not Stephen, the big tall dude. He had 59 and 20. Anyway, the center for the Hornets. I don't know. He played at North Carolina. Anyway, the Pelicans, whatever. Anyway, the dude had 59 and 20 the other day. And Tracy McGrady, I don't even know his name. Tracy McGrady said, anybody know that guy's name? Oh man, it's gonna hit me. Tracy McGrady said that when he had played basketball, he had a 60-point night. And he said the thing was, even after the game, he was still hot. He went to bed hot. He woke up hot. You know what I mean? It's like he was saying, there should be a stretch of games like that. If you're that hot, you're that in the zone. And I think that kind of correlates to when you're in that zone for that 3-4 day period, that week period, and everything is firing, everything you touch turn to gold. There's so much energy and passion coming through whatever you have created or whatever you're a part of. But then I think we also have to keep in mind, man, is that to be running on fumes, to be running on that the spirit of man, right? To be running just on that without eating.
That's where you want to be. Hey, look. Look, all right. So I'm gonna give you some unconventional wisdom.
Okay.
There is this and it's not all scientific, so don't quote me on anything I'm saying. This is my experience. Right? So there are times throughout the year when I fast, and what I'm learning about the fasting process is that when I put less food in my body, when I put less toxins in my body is actually allowing me to stay up longer. Like it won't even allow me to go to sleep. I don't need 8 hours of sleep because my body doesn't need 8 hours to process the stuff that I put in my body. So what ends up happening is even when I try to put myself to sleep, so I'll go to sleep at 12. I've been fasting all day. I'll go to sleep at 12 just to say, okay, I got to get some sleep. and my body will naturally wake itself up 2-3 hours later, refreshed as if I'm already ready to go. And again, it's because of the clean stuff that I'm putting in my body. It's the good vitamins that I'm taking. It's the good water that I'm putting in my body. And it's me being inspired, praying, and meditating. And what I find is that you don't need as much sleep as we think that we need. The prescribed amount is 8 hours of sleep. But again, if you are running on good fuels, you don't need as much sleep because your body doesn't need to process all that stuff.
Is there anybody here that gets 8 hours of sleep? I know I don't. I don't need it.
Someone says, yeah.
Okay, I'm just asking. I don't know. 8 hours. If I sleep 8 hours, I'll be wanting to sleep 12. I can't do that in that bed too long.
All right. So what are we talking about? Sleep.
I don't know.
What are we talking about? Nobody gets sleep on this show. What are we talking about?
Hey, Peter, you want to do some shout outs, man? We're halfway through the show, man. You might want to do some shout outs.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. We have let me see, we got EJ Webb the third, strong advocate against ISMs for LGBT communities and globally. We also have we have Elizabeth, who just joined. She is an English teacher. We have the Angry Egg, Galia Smith. She's also just on as well. We have Mr. Patrick Smart, SEO. Shout out to Mr. Patrick. We have ERGJ, of course. We also have Raquel, the 6 o'clock social media SME entrepreneur. We have Miss Veda, the poet illustrious. We have Miss Brittany. Brittany, you got to jump back on the show. Last time I seen you, you were doing your show from your spot from the Waffle House. Then we also have Raz Rising, the investor extraordinaire, and we have Nikel. Shout out to Nikel. Nikel, are you gonna join? You've been on Blab for 34 days now. We haven't seen you yet.
She'll be on her way to work when she be tuning in on the ride. Fantastic. So the seats aren't open though, guys. Does anybody want to jump in and talk about this law of reflection as we kind of move forward? So, oh man, I don't know where we went with that, but I think it was important. We always got to just go with the flow, man. Sometimes you got to go with the flow. Pat, how you doing, brother?
Look at Pat with the wealthy, healthy, happy lower third, man. I see you, Pat. I see what you're doing right now. Yeah, I see you. You get 100 props for that.
How you doing today? Pat?
Yes, sir.
How you doing today?
Oh, wonderful. I brought you a different coffee cup.
Joy, that's what I'm talking about.
Comes in the morning.
Yeah.
Start the morning.
Hey, so the law of reflection, Pat, man, you got anything to say on that?
Well, no, it's kind of been interesting. I did a coaching session yesterday with Tom Ziglar, Zig Ziglar's son. I signed up for, and one of the things we went over yesterday was taking time every morning to review your goals and taking that golden hour. And we were going over how to set goals and stuff. But one of the things was taking time every day to reflect on where you're going. Take the pause, take the time. And it's just so interesting to me that the same themes seem to come back. You put yourself in the universe and start down a path, and then all this other stuff just keeps reinforcing it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was just saying, man. It's like, wow, we're right where we need to be when we need to be there. And so we're into this law of reflection. And I think this is just speaking to everybody. Daily in the morning, that golden hour, it might be right after you work out, whatever it is, that time and that space you set for yourself to really just reflect, review, reminisce, appreciate, where you are right now, what you've learned from the past, what you're looking towards for the future, but where you are right now. And it's hard just to even talk about it without pausing.
Right. Yeah, because sometimes you just got so much to say, man. sometimes you got so much to say, you got so much to do, and you feel like, man, if I stop, I'm not going to get it done. You're not going to get it done. But the reality is that you have because you're on your path. I was listening to Abraham Hicks this morning as I was coming in, and she says, man, you can never get it all done, and you can never get it all right. So learn to
you gotta repeat that, man. Yeah. I'm teaching.
All right. You can't skim over that. Yeah, you're right. But you can never get it all done, and you can never get it all right. And so, learning to appreciate the moments that you're in, knowing that you can't get off your path. You cannot get off of your path. Sometimes you're just more aware that you're on your path than others. That's and she calls that clarity. And the more clear we are as we're on our path, the more focused we are, the less sleep you need, the more inspired you are, the more stuff you actually get done because you clearly see what's going on your path. But don't be frustrated when you can't see it all, because again, you can never get it all done and you can never get it all right, but keep moving forward because perfection is a process, and success is the worthy realization, or is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal.
Miss Raquel, thanks for joining. What would you like to add?
What's up, Miss Raquel?
Good morning. One of the things that I want to add, as I was listening, Evan gave this huge list about certain conditions that people are in when they need to pause. Like if you've been an entrepreneur all your life, if you are a single parent all your life, if you've just been going and going, and then if you take the entrepreneur route and you suddenly realize that the way you're going to eat is in your hands, you have to you continue to work. But I'm going to say this to you, good people. If you do not stop, if you do not pause, the world, it's going to stop for you. And I'm speaking from a personal point of view because I was good. Like I said, I was working a 9 to 5. I was very complacent, but I was able to input my ideas inside of this institution that I was working on. And I was just going and going and going. But God had another plan for me. He had another plan for me. So things just started to stop. Things just started to be pulled out of my life. The job went all crazy. They moved me into another department that I did not want to be in. I went from being very creative to selling furniture under the same roof. Furniture. Okay. I could tell you about an Aeron chair all day. So I went from doing that. And then eventually it got so uncomfortable that I knew I just had to quit. And when I got the desire to want to quit, my side business was also, speaking very loudly. I was getting more clients. Like I couldn't concentrate at work because I needed to send emails. I needed to follow up on them. But he didn't stop there. He messed with my bank account. And I'm talking about God. He messed with the people that I had in my life. But I started waking up. And I started seeing that the people I had in my life were wrong. I started seeing that everything was going. And the one thing that was missing from my life was meditation. I was not meditating at all. I was not reflecting. So what happened is the universe or God pulled everything away from me and was like, you need to pause. You need to pause and reflect, because as a single parent, you're feeding someone, for 20 some odd years. I was making sure this boy was going to successfully graduate from Georgetown. And I had to, and I was just going and going and going and going. But it wasn't until I came to Atlanta when I started to realize how great I was, started to own my greatness, when God wanted to align himself with me. And he said, you have to pause. So if you don't pause, if you don't take those moments to reflect and meditate, the universe, especially if you are aware, if you are one of the anointed, I'm going to say, if you are one of the chosen, now these zombies, they're going to keep going. Oh, I must watch TV. They're going to keep going. Right. Those of us who are chosen, those of us that he knows that he wants for us to talk to people and tell them something, he's going to make you pause. He's going to make you stop. And it feels so good and refreshing because you stop taking things for granted. You stop taking yourself for granted, and you start to really, really realize how great you are, and you can focus on the one thing, at a time. So I had to say that, because when you were talking, I was like, oh, that's something to say. So yes.
Right. And let me back on that because you said something that's powerful. In the pause, that is definitely where you And I think what just came to me is that it's in the pause that you have the conversation with God, or you have the conversation with the universe. It's in those moments where life really becomes clear and you hear the divine voice. And so if we are always constantly going, we miss the next direction, because we are doing our own talking. We're out in all of our action. We're being very noisy, and you can't always hear what God or the universe is saying. And so it's very important, to your point, Ms. Raquel, that in pausing, we hear the universe. That's it. That's my pause.
I know that was that moment of pause for everybody else. And here's the deal, guys. Here's the deal. Doesn't it seem like it get uncomfortable when everybody gets silent? It's just, you know what I mean?
Right. Then you want to say something. Sometimes you just, hey, chill out.
But it can get uncomfortable, and even as a speaker, right? We actually use pauses in our speeches. We use pauses to let things settle in. But for others, they feel like, even if it was just 1 minute, if it was just 30 seconds of a pause, of nothing moving, nothing saying, it feels so uncomfortable because we're so used to noise always happening. Whether it's the dog barking, the child crying, the noise on the street, the car horns barking, the fire alarm going off. We're used to always noise happening. Only when we get ready to go to sleep do we want like no noise. But we want to get our dreams. We want to capture our dreams. Is when we sleep. We want at 12, at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. If they make some noise, I'm gonna be pissed off. But it's other times throughout the day where we can actually create that space where there's no noise and that there's that stillness, calmness, peace that enters into our atmosphere. Pat, man, you got any last words for the peeps?
Well, it reminds me of Mama. Mama said, shut up, sit still, and listen.
Always straight and to the point is Mr. Pat Direct. Ms. Raquel, you got any last words for the peeps?
I did. I had something. I totally forgot. I had something. But I always wanted to do this. Hi, Patrick. Hey, Mr. Beatles. Hello, Evan.
Hey,
I love it.
This is the Wealthy, Healthy, Happy Show. If you can't come here and smile, you can't come here and feel refreshed and feel good about getting your day started, man. You need to change something that's going on in the atmosphere, man. Hey, Mr. Beatles, man. Any last word for the piece, man? Sign us out, man. Here today on the Law of Reflection, the Power to Pause.
Oh man, find a moment to reflect today. Find a moment to get in that quiet place and allow the answers to come to you. You've asked the questions, you prayed for it, you've meditated, you've asked, you've written it down. Now, in that moment of quietness, that's where you find the clarity. That's where you'll find your answer. So know that it may be a busy day today, but find that moment to reflect. And always know that you are wealthy, you're healthy, you're happy. Be right back here tomorrow, 7 a.m. to 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. And we are out.